Hey everybody, welcome back to Restore You. It is Angela, and thank you so much for supporting me and our channel. And today I thought we would do something a little bit different. I was getting ready to do a video on our flea market find book and kind of design one for our upcoming travel journal that that our family is getting ready for. And while I was doing that, I started kind of a new process. So today we're going to talk about efficiencies, if there's any such thing when it comes to being an artist and crafting, especially paper crafts and junk journaling, scrapbooking, mixed media, all of that good stuff. But I hope today I can share with you a few little tips on what works for me and what I have implemented recently to help me be a little more efficient. So I don't know about you, but when I am working on a project, I always have tons of scraps, and I usually have this little itty bitty thing, which by the way, I need to do something with it. I feel like I'm doing stuff with it, but it's still getting bigger. So I need to sort through that and make some decisions. But these are just from a few projects that I've been working on, and I'm just going to kind of throw them aside. But I always end up with them. They usually go into that little plasticware thing. And then at the end of my project, anything that's in that color family, I kind of stick together. If I found things throughout that I want to save, I put those together. Like these are all words and sayings and things. And then I sort through them all, and then I put them where they're supposed to be. I know not everybody probably does that. It's just my a little bit of OCD that I have that kicks in. And so it takes me a lot more time than I would like to spend. So a couple of things that I have implemented. Let me just put these aside for a moment. Number one is I had this book, and then I had this answer book. And inside of them, the pages are just, I mean, they weren't, yes, I could use them for bases. They're nice and heavy. But I had done some sorting, and they were the very same size. And I was like, okay, what could I use these for? And how could I make my crafting time a little more efficient and a little more streamlined on each project I work on? And so what I did is I just keep this and the answer book right next to me, along with my, I don't even know what book this is. So, oh, see, I was working on a project there. This is what I use with small pieces to glue, and then I have a couple of old magazines that I use to glue as well, and I just fold over the pages as I go. So, but sometimes along the way, this is why I had this out, I might see a word or something that I want to pop out of there and keep for the future, and then I just skip that page and glue on another page, like the word people. And I usually just throw that in my sentiments and word pile. And this one, it looks like I might have ruined this one because I've already cut, but you get it. So I just kind of do that throughout, or, you know, there's recipes, or I might cut that out for one of my journals. And so then I end up with this several stacks of all kinds of junk. So what I decided that I would do is I would just flip this open to a page, and as I was going, I would just start collaging. Either if I'm not on camera, then I'll do it as I'm crafting, and I'll just, you know, have my glue stick, and I'll just pop down something as I go. And so here are a couple from different projects. This was kind of a blue pastel. This is actually from scraps when I was downsizing my scraps, and I wasn't really thrilled with all these little animals, and so I was like, we're using them up. But here's one that was from some purples that I had, and as you can see, these are not actually, that didn't, hang on. I think we're okay. But what I was saying is that I just keep adding to these pages, and then along the way, if I need something specific, if I want to make journal cards, or if I want to have a base page for something that I've got, I can do that. And I happen to have some of these that I thought might, I haven't even looked at these, so I don't even know, might work for this, and I'll just kind of talk through what my process is and kind of show you how I go about that. And I really, you guys, I really don't even think about this at all. Because in my opinion, if I don't like it, I can just always add something else to it, right? So I can cover it up. I can, if I find something else. One thing I try to do, which I didn't do really well on this one, is I always try to work from the outside in. Like I had some specific things that I wanted to use in there, like that cute little camper. And so I didn't necessarily do that as much on this one as I probably should have, but that is primarily what I do. I work on from the outside. Here's a word, so we're going to put that aside. Oh, here's a cute little strawberry smoothie. And I seriously don't even make sure that it's all glued down, because you know what? There's another word. Something's probably going to go over it anyway. Oh, this is cute. Coco Chanel. Let's see if we should, I don't know if I'm not loving her here. I'm going to put her maybe somewhere else. Oh, more words. Here's one. This will work. But what I found is I am so much more efficient because, and a lot less anxious of all these little piles, because I'm using them up as I go. And I don't have to, my cleanup is like merely minutes compared to what it was before. I've got a lot of words apparently. I'm going to show you what I do with those in just a minute. Lots and lots of words. This is really cute. A little teacup. We'll just tear this teacup out. We'll maybe use this as a focal point. Although, like I said, this is kind of against my normal rules of working from the outside in, but it's here and I've got it in my hands and I want to be able to get rid of some of my scraps, so we're just going for it. The other thing I have to say, you can probably tell that I do this a lot. A lot of times I glue just right on here, even if it is something that the only problem is that if I flip to another page, occasionally it might get stuck together, but you kind of get the gist. And if it's colors that I don't really like, I just kind of throw it on there. I apologize. I am having some severe allergy issues, which I know I'm not alone, so I'm not going to complain about it, but man, it's been kind of crazy. This is a little dark, but there's some dark in here, so I think I'm just going to try to, that didn't go how I wanted. We'll use that somewhere else. And I don't know if it's like some residual from all of the fires and the smoke. I don't know that there was still that much out there, but maybe. But we went to the state fair the other day, the kids and I and my sister, and we were out there all day, and it just continues to get worse and worse. So I'm assuming it has something to do with allergies anyway. Let's just hope, because I don't want to be sick. The kids start school tomorrow, which is really bittersweet. It is Landon's it'll be his first day of his senior year. It'll be the last time that I will see him off to school. Makes me sad. take pictures. They're always so accommodating to me. They let me do my thing. And then I cry every year, no matter how old they are. I don't know. Are any of you guys like that? Like, do you still... I have some friends that are like, no, I was totally ready to get my kids away, especially after the pandemic and being in quarantine. They're like, nope, we were really ready to get our kids back into school. And I was like, I would have been fine if my kids just stayed home with me. They all thought I was crazy. But many of my friends have much younger children. And I couldn't imagine trying to, homeschool and doing all of that. So I get where they're coming from. But for my kids, they're pretty self-sufficient, so it wasn't... I don't know if they would have graduated from college if I would have had to homeschool them. Just kidding. They would have graduated. I don't know how well their grades would have been, but... If it would have been art, English, or history, they would have fared fairly well. Dave could have covered the math and science in his spare time, right? But thank goodness I didn't have to do that. But you kind of get what we're... Oh, this is a paint chip. Jonquil. So yeah, that's today is... What day is today? Is Saturday. And like I said, we're getting ready for back to school, all the stuff, right? So that my kids don't need, they don't have to do tons of school supplies or things like that. So Landon and I had a date and we went and did some school shopping. And then Demi and I did the same thing on another occasion. So, and they didn't really need much, so that was easy. And then, what's this? We ordered school supplies online, which, let me tell you, I'm sure all schools are different, but really, all of our kids are, one's a sophomore and one is a senior here in Iowa, and then Rhea is a junior in Omaha. And she didn't really need a whole lot either, but more than Demi and Landon did. So Demi literally ordered a 5-subject notebook, which, just so you know, she could have went downstairs and probably got one from my stash. But, who am I to tell her no? Because there's something just about a new notebook, right? And she bought a folder. And then she grabbed a couple of her favorite pens and a pencil. And that is what she is taking to school on her first day. That's it. Because then they tell you, each teacher says, okay, this is what, these are the projects we're going to work on. This is what you're going to need, blah, blah, blah. And so they just kind of wait. Let's see if we can find a spot for Miss Coco Chanel. I love her, but she's not going there. I don't think that I have... Let's see what other ones I have. Let's go from the very back. And like I said, I've just started this, so... Oh, this is fun. Let me come back to this, because I've got some things that... Nope, won't go there. All right, let's see. That was where we just were. Somebody is here. Hi, buddy.
You filming a video?
Yeah.
Are you gonna cut it out?
No. I love you. Here, wait. Nope, too pink. Well, maybe not. Let's just do that. I think she's super cute. I'm going to take this out. We'll just put that somewhere else. Today, the guys were doing some... I don't exactly know what they were doing. I think They were working on one of our houses, tearing out possibly a floor, maybe? I don't know. So they've been gone since early this morning. And Landon just got back, so he must be off the clock. Coco, I'm going to find a spot for you. Let me get these other little things on here. Just trying to add some of that pink. I think what I'll do is cut her out. Oh my goodness. And then our weekend, what else is going on this weekend? Oh, tomorrow is Demi starts fall softball. So she has, I believe, 3 games tomorrow. I think they're at like 2, 5:30, and 7. So three games. So it'll be an all-day event, which I'm kind of excited about because it's been a while. Let's see if there's just anything else. Okay, let's go back to this Da Vinci page. And I think my brother, I don't know, maybe, I think they might be coming to watch too, and I know my parents are. So that will be fun. I was planning on doing like a brunch beforehand, but my brother decided he was going to head to our acreage with some of his family, with his wife and his daughter, and I think his daughter's friend, and they were just going to hang out and relax. And I'm just sticking these on here wherever because they kind of go with this. Well, that's not good. Let's see. They kind of go with that. So there you have it. That's one quick way to be a little more efficient. And then the other one, and this one honestly, I don't really do as I go much because it takes a little more thought. All right, so put all those scraps of the scraps back in there. But this is what I put, everything that I find that, let me see, make sure I can see, yeah. Especially magazines, which let me just have a real, like, answer me and tell me the truth, because I hope to God it's not me, just me. But how many of you go to the magazine section and, you know, it used to be I would look at everything that I could possibly find that was interesting to me to read on a subject. For example, home interior or, you know, flea markets or whatever. I mean, whatever the magazine was. And I would say, oh, that looks like an interesting article to read. And I would buy it. Well, lately I've noticed that I'm not really doing that much. I'm actually looking at the photos thinking, oh, how could I use these afterwards in my junk journals? So, yeah, please tell me I am not alone. But if I am, I will happily own it. All right, so here's what I do. All of these words, I used to have these in a separate, like, one of these containers. And then I would flip through them and I couldn't find any. Like, I'd think, oh, I know I have those words. What did I do with them? And then, no, couldn't find them. So I thought, well, I'm going to do the same thing, little bit different strategy. And I'm just going to cut this up. I don't think you guys can see that. And stick these in, you know, after I've finished a project or if I've just looked through a magazine. Sometimes I started doing the magazines, just cutting them out while I was sitting and watching a show, which the most recent one, which I kind of have to pay attention. So I don't want to cut my finger off, but I have to pay attention to Alone because I like to know all of the stuff that they're doing. But that is really fantastic. And it was filmed at Chilco Lake. And Chilco is in Chilcotin, which is where Dave and I got engaged. And so it was kind of fun to see. Now, we stayed at a place called the Chilco Wilderness Experience, which if you ever get a chance to do that, Phil and Ann are the most wonderful hosts I have ever had at a resort. And not only are they fabulous, but the scenery, as you probably, if anybody watches Alone, you know how just gorgeous it is. But it is breathtaking. I've never seen anything like it. And I'm kind of a beach girl, but let me tell you, that was phenomenal. So I've been watching that. And so while I watch, I will take my magazines that I've already read and just kind of mindlessly cut things out and then glue them on here while I'm watching TV. Let's see. I don't know what this is from. Oh, I saved this because you guys all know the Gigi thing. It says Gigi in Wonderland. So people often ask why Gigi Ray. So my mom calls me Gigi Ray, but nobody else really does. They call me Gigi. When my brother was little, Nick, he couldn't say Angie or Angela. So he called me Gigi. And there you have it. That is where my name came from. And then my nieces and nephews call me that. And so it just kind of stuck. But, you don't see... Actually, you do see Gigi a little bit more on things, but it's mostly in relation to... Like, I have something that says what happened at Gigi's, stays at Gigi's, that my niece gave me. And I think my niece gave it to me. I don't know. Maybe my mom did. But that's supposed to be totally for a grandma, because I guess they call it Grandma's Gigi. I am not a grandma, so I just embrace and own it. So I separated this one just so you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from, because this is the first one. My intent is I'm just going to kind of keep these on a shelf, and then it's one more piece of ephemera. What is this? Oh, more Gigi in Wonderland. Very nice. And then at least I can say, okay, I need words for or whatever, and I can just pop on over to that section and see if there's anything that I can find to use. Now, here's one other thing that I decided to do, because and if you haven't, I'll try to remember to add it to link below, but I did a video on inchies and twinchies and whatever other shape sizes that you want. But what I did, what are those? Oh, I know what they're. What I did is just stuck in some of these that I was already working on, but I was like, why am I doing that separately on all these pages? Oops, I'm dropping things. When I could just do them, these are some of my digitals that I did, but why not just put it in here? So I'm keeping these in here because I may use them, and I also have, these are also digitals. I think those were freebies on the To Restore You VIP group on Facebook, but I stuck those in here too, so I could use those. And then I put in a couple extra pages of the black and the natural paper just in case, but at least it's all together. And then I took the very last pages of the book that didn't have anything on it, made inchies and twinchies, so I could just add to them instead of having all these loose papers. So hopefully by the time I start my next one, all of these will be used up in something. But I wanted to show you, so here's an example. I know not everyone, loves doing this kind of stuff, but this is kind of in relation to my personality and my career and Dave and I's life renovating houses. So I get tons of design magazines and catalogs, and so See what I'm saying? But that makes it look rustic, right? So I just embrace it, and I use these and have a lot of fun with them. You know, with doors, you can cut these open and hinge them and have something behind it. So, you know, don't be afraid to do that. I get a lot of lighting magazines, and they're beautiful. So this is a light. This is just something that I backed on black that I'll probably use as a tucker pocket, but I left those in there so you could kind of see what would happen with these after I'm done. I don't have any idea why these blank papers are in there. And the other thing I wanted to show you, because I've had these in my stash forever, and they are, let me see, I gotta make sure this page, we're gonna put that there. These are, I don't know if I'll be able to see them. This one looks, oh, I guess it's not. Yeah, you can't really tell. They're negative sleeves that came from print file archival preservers. And so the premise was, I think they're open on both sides, that you would just stick your negatives from taking 35 millimeter or whatever kind of camera you had photos. Excuse me. Well, I don't have any of those anymore. So I decided to, this one, I way overthought it. But I cut them apart at the seams, and they still stayed together, which was brilliant. That was awesome. And then put them on this page so I could just add to it. But I have all of these that are kind of more home and kind of that vintage color. So I thought I would do another one and just show you how easy it was for me to... Okay, let me... 1, 2, 3. Okay, I guess we're doing 3. That's the other thing I want to show you what I did. So let's find a spot for this. The only thing you got to remember is don't start gluing on something if it's got a page to it, because that would not be good. All right, we'll use this page. So all I did was, and I'm going to use my scissors. Well, I just cut off, these were for 3-ring binders. Now, like I said, I totally overthought it, right? So the first time I did it, I cut each section apart with my box cutter. This time, we're going to get smarter. We're going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to cut the top of this one off too. And I'm sorry, because I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. But we're going to try it. Let me see, maybe if I put this underneath it, will it help? Not really. Okay, well, there's a tiny little seam on each section of these. So all I did is I cut off this first one. Now remember that they're open on either side. So I did have to, let me see, I gotta look here. Wow, it's windy out. Maybe I just don't have the door shut. Okay, we're gonna take my knife. This was much easier the first time. Actually, it was not easier because I did not get that right. I'm just gonna cut it. The rest of them, I can use more pressure, I think, and cut them. It's a beautiful day. We had a huge rainstorm last night. Let's see, make sure this is going to fit on here. I think we're just going to go with it. I can make it fit. Okay, so I have to turn this sideways when I do this. So this one will be open at the top. There you have it, with a little bit of help once I get. And I did find, once I started, now this is where you have to be a smidge careful. Let's see if I can do this and talk at the same time. Probably not. There. There you go, see? So now, you just continue to do that all the way down. Now the other one I did when I split it apart, when I split each one of them like all the way in half, then I had to glue them all back together. So I was like, well, that was silly. What I found was that even though they're open on both ends, I haven't had, I mean, I did glue the first set, but a couple of them, a couple other ones I didn't. And the stuff doesn't fall out, which is interesting. What I would maybe suggest is just on at least one side of it. So like this side is the side that there's, I know you can't see that, but the little slit stop there, and then you got some additional space. So if you mount it this way, you should be okay and it won't fall out. And I know not everybody has these just lying around. I have no idea where. I'm guessing that I probably got them one of two places, either at a thrift shop with that. Oh, I'm sure I could do something with these. I just cut all the way through that. No big deal, not to worry. I got too heavy-handed. And or an auction / estate sale would be my guess. So what is everybody up to this weekend? I hope that the weather wherever you're at is as gorgeous as it is here. I'm thinking that we're going to have to do a nice long walk this afternoon. Take the puppy out. Demi got her a new bed because I promised you that I was going to start, which is the long side. Which is, I gotta put it up to the light. Okay, this is the long. Nope. Make sure I'm. Okay. Okay, we're good. Demi bought Zenny a new little bed today because, as promised, I have been working. Well, one of the reasons I'm even doing this video is my efficiency goal is that I started doing my videos and crafting quite a bit in my office, which is where I'm at now, just because the light is fabulous. Well, I kept accumulating more and more stuff, if you will. And I finally, a couple weeks ago, cleaned it all out. And I was like, okay, you've got an entire art studio. It's all set up. Get your butt down there. So I took everything down. I've been organizing. And I am going to start doing, I'm going to try, you guys can tell me if it's good or bad, start doing my videos down there. Because two things. Number one, I'm trying to make things more inaccessible for me, like standing more and moving more, because I am horrible even when I set an alarm to like move every hour. Sometimes I just don't. So that kind of forces me to do that, and that works fantastic. So I've kind of set it up in a way that I can still do my videos, and I will not, I shouldn't be having to move much too far away from the camera that you'll still be able to hear me. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm almost there. I've got some labeling to do, and then I relabeled everything in here, or reorganized everything in here, and so now I can't find anything. So I had to get Post-it notes and put on every cabinet what's in there. But that's how easy that is. And now you've got your little sleeves. Now, if you don't have this, you could use butcher paper. You could use anything you wanted, but it's working well for me. And if you have these lying around, now you've got a use for them. So there you have it. And then the other thing that I'm going to show you that I did was this page. So I just punched using my punch, and I used some papers, and then I did a belly band, which somehow that belly band did not, I had glue on it, so it's not a belly band anymore, but you know. So I'm going to show you how quickly you can make these in a book too. And I mean, you're probably going, Angela, why would you even think about ditching this book in the first place? Well, because I have way too many, and I was going to, these came from an auction, and I just needed to get rid of some. So I was either going to gift them to some of my friends on some of the groups I am a part of, or I was going to send them back to one of the thrift stores. I did not know, but I knew I couldn't keep them all, and so I have gifted some of those to people. And then how did I got to go back to this, guys, and then use these. So these are the only two that I actually kept that I didn't need. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I came all the way to the top on that one. All right, well, let's go to the top. And all I'm doing, so easy, is that's basically, I just pull this a little bit from this binding, and then we'll do this a little bit different. And just so you can see this, this is not anything. Yes, I probably could have made it really, really pretty. I didn't, because I was like, hey, this is just to store my stuff. So it's just going to be utilitarian. I can pretty it up as I go if I wish. Just want to make sure I don't mess this up. Okay, let's make this one a thin one. Do that one. This one might be, that one's a twofold. Hold on. Okay. I didn't have that on the other one I made. This is going to be short, but that is okay, because then we're going to do a couple of things. All right, so for, the first thing I did is I just took my glue, whoop, glue that. And you know what I think I'll do on this one, just to be fun? So I think I will leave that open on both sides. I don't know. It might not work because that's not what I was going to show you, but you know what? It's glue. All right, and I'm just closing it up. This one I'm going to close on both sides. And I want you guys to notice that I did not glue the bottom of this one. So things can go all the way through. Well, this needs a bigger loop-de-loop. Oops, I forgot to do this one for you. All right, so we got that one. Oop. That one, I'm going to glue this one on both sides. So that, these will be smaller. Hold on, be patient for my glue. It's almost out. I need to refill, so. But I have this adorable. Landon took the other one he made for me. He made one for Dave. This is Dave's. He made one for Dave and one for myself last year in his pottery class. For me to have for a teacup. And he and I had gone shopping, and he wanted to buy a cactus, a succulent. And he put his in my teacup and took it to his room. So, yeah, Mama doesn't have one. So then what we're going to do here, so we've got this page. We just need to remember not to put anything on there. And so I think I'm going to just, I need to make sure I glued that. I'm trying to decide. Okay, so I want this open here and this one open here. For in here. And then I don't want to make this too difficult because then I'm just going to forget and then I'll lose stuff inside of there and I won't know where it's at. So we're going to glue all of these together. We're going to leave that one. Open. On both sides. Okay. So now we are good to go, and we're going to glue this one as well. I think I'm going to glue this across here. I didn't last time, so I could have it go all the way through, but these are for small items, so I can't imagine that anything is going to be that big. Let's see what's on that one. And then what I did with this one, I just had a piece of paper and it had some flowers on it, and so I just made that into one of the pockets. So I'm just going to make this into a pocket. It's got some, let's see, what is this? Deliciousness. It looks like apples. I might make this a little bit. Let's see, let's cut this off this way. I'm going to make it just a smidge smaller than the binder. I mean the book pages. My brain is not. I just am fuzzy with all this ickiness of my head. Dave and Landon were doing a crossword puzzle yesterday, and they were asking me questions, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even think. All right. So I'm trying to stay away from math problems that I have to do when I'm creating and crafting today, because it's probably not going to go so well. All right, so this one is not going to be a belly band. I'm just going to make this because it's at the bottom. And it's of its own. But just a couple of things that you can do to make storage for your ephemera with your old books and old magazines and all of the fun you can have. So here, let's put this one here. There you go. So there you have it. And this is all together, and I can put something there if I want. We'll just pretend like that's going to go there. I don't know how I'm going to like that because it's probably going to flop open a lot, but if I don't, I can always close it up. But there you have it. 2 really simple ways to use up those books and your scrapbook pages. And then before we go, so then we've got this. I've got my little inchy and twinchy things that I keep in my other book. But I also had these. These are left over. That's another reason that I'm doing efficiencies, because I just went through all of the projects that I have to do and to on my list, either started or ideas, and I have 26 of them. And so I am checking those 26 off, and I'm not starting another project until I do. One of those is, it's my own personal garden journal, but I've got something really cool as a surprise that I'm going to be using, to make it into something for specimens and all that good stuff in your gardens. But this was left over from one of the magazines I used for that lap book. And so I thought this would be cute to just make a mini, collage book as I go too. So that is one more efficiency. And then I am down to every other, okay, I know you cannot see this very well, but every one of my other projects are down in my craft room, nicely put away where I cannot see them and be tempted by them. And this is one project. This is something that, here, I'll show you. I have 2 projects in there. One are some of my digitals that I need to kind of expand upon. And then this whole project is going to be, it's actually live on Etsy right now. But these are inspired by my great grandma Ida, and they're called the Ida Florals, I believe. And then I have another complimentary kit that's going to go in there, and this was one of the projects I made. So I've got some signatures and then some fun little, I'm trying to find, I've got so many goodies in here. Some of the other things, let me see. Let me find the digitals. Hi, Demi. Jeez. Okay, we got, well, those aren't part of the Ida. Nor are those. These are Amity Blooms. Adorableness. Where are the ones that I'm using? Oh, here they are. All organized. So organized, I can't find them. This is one of my tags and ephemera. And then these are all from the Ida kit. The lilacs and the purples we use in another one. But I have tags and tabs and some big sheets and small sheets, and not all of them are here. But that is the project that I'm working on, and it's the only project that I'm going to work on up here until it is finished. And then once that is done, it will be time for me to head down to the craft room and try out some projects down there and see how you like them. So stay tuned. I believe the next video that you will probably see is us transforming a magazine into, and I believe I do have a flip through of this, so I'll link to that as well. But we're going to use what's left of this magazine, and we are going to create a camp sort of ish travel journal for my upcoming vacation with the family. So stay tuned. Until then, as always, I hope you are all well. Thank you as always for supporting me and my husband and our channel. And we will see you next time. Until then, remember to just be. Cheers.